Teacher diary. Why is it? I'm gonna slide my chair over a little bit. Don't mind to know it. Why is it that you come into the profession of teaching? Right? You can look anywhere online, you can hear anywhere, almost in newspapers, that teachers are either leaving the profession or there's nobody going into the profession, right? So, that being said, when you go into the profession, when you come into the profession, one of the first things that they do is mostly they just give you a script. They call it a standard here in Georgia. And what they want you to do is follow this particular outline. It's almost dummy proof, to be honest with you. I shouldn't say almost. That might make me a dummy. But the point I'm trying to make is that you come in probably with no background, which would be me, and they give you this script. But then you find out that your school is near the last or the bottom as far as test scores. You find out that the school is just kind of not good at all. You find out a whole bunch of problems. But then you find that that's the case for the county you're in. Then you find out that that's the case kind of for a lot of places in the state. So once you find those things out and you're like, wait a minute, you're giving me a script when most of the kids in this school ain't doing good anyway. Matter of fact, you're giving me a script for the most part that you use for the last 3, 4, 5, however many years it is. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, correct? I think. So if that's the case, then why in the world are we doing the same thing we were doing last year? It didn't work the year before last. It didn't work the year before that, and it didn't work the year before that. So why do you think it's going to work today? Matter of fact, if you have someone you should be happy is coming into your system in the first place. If you have somebody coming into that thing, brand new, fresh off the streets, the one thing you shouldn't want to give them is what you have already proven to fail. Your standard or your scripting is bad. It don't work. If it did, the scores would not be where they are, the school would not be where it is, and you wouldn't need to hire me because there would be people flocking to you. It should be a sign to anybody in leadership that if people are not, Martin Luther King did a speech, and in the speech he said, you want to do things that, basically what he said was, you want to build a better mousetrap, because if you do, people will make a beeline to your door. Nobody's making beelines to the field of education. Why? Because it is a system that is okay with nurturing leadership failure. It's okay. The way we educate the children is garbage. Personal opinion. Can it be changed? I think so. Possibly if you get some younger people in the leadership positions that don't necessarily think that doing something new is bad. Just because it worked 15 years ago, just because it worked in a suburban county, just because it worked over there, does not mean that it works for this particular demographic. And it is okay to say that did not work. It is okay to say we need to change. It is okay to say we are outdated. It's okay. It's not okay to keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. That is not okay. That's insanity. If the children are truthfully our future, does not the song go on to say, let them lead the way? You have to, if you are leadership in education, get out of the way and let the children, and what I mean by that is somebody that's not over the age of 50 possibly, be in leadership to help these younger kids be able to get to something better. We have got to get the old out of the way so that the new and the young can start to be in there. But that's not going to work. Because in order to do so, that would mean that the leadership would have to be humbled. That would mean that your leadership would be humble. It would mean that your leadership is not going to make you pay for a team building session. Who in the world came up with that idea? That's crazy. If you got to pay for it, it ain't team building, because I'm already upset now because I got to pay. Anyway. Education can be beautiful. Education can be something that people will kick down the door to try to get to try to do. But you have to do something you don't want to do. And that's hold parents accountable, kids accountable, teachers accountable, leadership accountable, principals accountable. You have to hold people accountable. You have to say, hey, look, I've got 30 kids in a room. It's too many. I've got 35 kids in a room, and it's too many. I've got kids who can't speak a lick of Spanish, but you have them in my room. How am I supposed to teach a child that I don't speak the language of? That's insane. How am I helping that child? I really enjoy what I do. I actually love teaching. I actually love being a part of the community. But then you put me in a room with kids who cannot even speak my language, but expect for me to be able to communicate with them. That's dumb. Not only is it dumb, it makes 2 nickels of a sense. We say we want our reading scores to go up, but then don't teach the kids who are already not able to read on a 5th or 4th or 3rd grade reading level. You don't want to teach them how to read. In order to take a test, you have to be able to read. In order to be able to answer correctly, you have to be able to critically think. You cannot critically think if you cannot read. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot an element. You cannot read, you cannot answer a question and critically think if you cannot read and comprehend. Somebody gave you a card for set up to fail. Children need to be able to read. And if you are in the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th, 11th, 12th grade, and you cannot read on that grade level, that means you need to know the basics. You cannot test well if you cannot read on your grade level. And if teachers have to teach how to read, first of all, it must be understood, and the people must be held accountable from kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, 6th grade, whatever grade it was before they got to me or him or whoever else who could not read. Somebody need to hold them accountable, but that ain't gonna happen either. So that's fine, that's cool. If that's not gonna happen, then you need to allow me the time to teach the mechanics or the basics of education. And reading, writing, and arithmetic are those. But you must be humble to hear what I'm saying. might want to get out your own